I have officially exited the 18 to 24 age bucket. Apparently, my brain's fully developed, and honestly, I'm quite terrified. This is probably what they call a quarter life crisis, and as an official step into my mid to late 20s, I thought I'd share a few lessons I learned in my early 20s. Let's start from the beginning. Good morning. As you can see, I'm not doing too hot. We're starting off strong with a heartbreak. I had just gotten blindsided and broken up with by who I thought was the love of my life. And I quickly learned that I had some major attachment issues to work through. Hello, it's Steph. Just recently broke up with Calvin. And feeling pretty bad, and I think I want to do like a video journey of my healing process and seeing how far I can go by myself with the support of, obviously my family members and my friends, but also on myself. So I will be documenting this, and when I look back, I will have seen how much stronger I've become. I'm extremely privileged to say that I haven't gone through any major loss in my life yet, but at 20 years old, anxious and completely unequipped to handle my emotions, that heartbreak felt like what I can only imagine feels a tiny bit like what losing someone might feel like. I'm so angry at myself. Your girl is not doing too hot. As you can see, look. Do you see how much the dumpling is shaking? It stopped a little bit. In hindsight, that relationship really wasn't good for me. I let go of my ambition, my friends, my health, and I became extremely complacent in all areas of my life. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I completely isolated myself, and I made him my entire life. And when he left, I really had nothing left for myself. And that was quite unfortunately also the start of lockdown for COVID, so I truly felt the most isolated I ever have. There were days when I literally spent over 24 hours in bed, and eventually I hit a point where I knew something had to change, otherwise I'd literally just rot away in bed. So in the smallest, gentlest ways possible, I started doing things that I didn't want to do, but knew I needed to. I started working out just in my bedroom, going on walks, bike rides, and runs, which is crazy because even now I really don't like running. I focused on school, eventually stepped into a gym, which terrified me, which is also crazy to me now because I work out so often, but at the time I was so terrified to go to the gym. I started therapy, which was also really scary, and slowly I started pulling myself out of this really dark rut I found myself in. My mission today is to get my life back together. And 10 whole months later, I felt different. I was healthier, happier, and made new friends and new memories. So, here's my first lesson. Every time you show up for yourself is a vote for the better version of you. It's the small, consistent efforts that create the biggest changes. At 21, I was a junior in college. By then, most students have a few internships already, or at least a sense of direction for what they want to do after graduation. I was in the biology labs, working on fellowships, and I was on track to pursue a PhD in biology until I realized that I don't actually want that. I didn't love the extremely slow progress, and I felt like I was running on my cell's schedules and not my own schedule. Around that same time, I took my first computer science class out of curiosity, and while it was extremely frustrating at points, I found myself falling in love with the fast-paced, logical, and creative side of it. So, I made a big girl executive decision to pivot my academic and career trajectory and switch paths completely. The issue here though, I hadn't written a single line of code before my junior year of college. I remember calling my super smart software engineer brother for help and asking him to explain for loops to me. Like, for loops. I was struggling.
I thought last quarter was bad, but I got a 56 on my lab. Okay, obviously it's my fault because my code didn't run, but I was manually testing some of the cases and all of them worked. So I was like, it works, why didn't it pass the autograder? But apparently, C can run differently on different machines. So it ran on mine, but it didn't run on the GradeScope autograder. So none of my code ran when they were grading it. So I got 40 points off, even though like the bulk of the function was right. I'm gonna have to make like a major comeback. Why is this so hard? No subject has ever made me feel that stupid. I feel like I'm pretty good at the sciences, and I really figured out like how to learn, how to do school, how to do well in these sciences. And then this class just comes and like whoops my ass.
And I spent a lot of time stuck on that learning curve, struggling in office hours, getting help from anyone and everyone. But eventually, things started to click. I started understanding the concepts better and started to really enjoy the process of coding. Was I good at it? No. But did I like it? Yes. And I felt so powerful behind the laptop that even when like all I was doing was stretching out an image of a bird or something like that, I was having a lot of fun. Like, I was fighting for my life in these classes, but I really enjoyed it. There was a major issue though. I have a year and a half left before I graduate, and that was too late to add on the CS major, but I was stubborn. So I went to my academic advisor and she told me about a joint bachelor's master's program where I could finish my biology degree and get a master's in computer science. And somehow I got in. So, lesson 2. It's okay to start over, no matter how late you think you are. Take a chance on yourself because the other option is staying stuck doing something that doesn't truly excite you.
Where is she? Somebody! Somebody ran! Somebody ran! It's your birthday! It's your birthday! We have a cake and candles! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Steph! Happy birthday to you!
So I'm 22 now and a senior in college. Senior year is supposed to be the year where you let loose a bit, and I did a lot of that. I played a lot of volleyball, locked in at the gym, accidentally got bangs, and spent a lot of great time with my friends.
When's it 20? Yo.
There was a huge issue though. I'm about to be unemployed, and because of that, I felt like I couldn't entirely focus on enjoying the last year of college because I was so far behind career-wise and academically. My computer science peers were all getting return offers to top tech companies, and my bio peers were getting into med schools and grad schools, and me, I had nothing lined up after graduation. In fact, I had only taken 2 computer science classes at this point. I could barely code, so I couldn't even imagine passing a technical interview. However, as much as I doubted myself then, I had perseverance. I knew that if I took myself seriously, I could figure it out, even if it took a really long time. So that became my plan. Focus on learning this year and worry about getting a job later. So that's exactly what I did. I activated sponge mode and soaked up as much information as possible. It honestly felt like drinking from a fire hose. I learned so much that year, but also realized that cramming 3 years worth of computer science into 1 year doesn't exactly build a deep understanding of it. Honestly, that's one of my biggest regrets. Even now, I really wish I had learned all of this over 4 years instead of 1, but I had to work with what I had at the time, and I was lucky that I even had that. So, by spring of that senior year, whenever I chatted with anyone, friends, family, old professors, the single most commonly asked question was, what are you doing after graduation? And then I'd have to hit them with the, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing after graduation. And as much as I played it off like I was fine and knew I was going to be fine, I very much did not feel fine. I was extremely anxious and stressed, and I felt so incredibly incompetent.
Morning, guys. What a tough way to start the vlog. I'm laying in bed and doing work because I skipped class today. It's 10 a.m. and I woke up. I have a 9:30 photography class and I couldn't do it, so here we are, but let's get ready.
And it wasn't until I sat down and decided to document my job search process that I truly came to terms with my situation and accepted it. That I was going to graduate without a job when I had always been someone who seemingly, quote unquote, had her shit figured out.
Hey guys, I am stressed. So here's the situation. I'm a current senior in college and I feel like every single person who is also a senior in college has their job lined up already, and it's really just stressing me out because I haven't even sent out my application anywhere.
I feel like growing up with Asian parents, you're really expected to be a top performer, to be the best student, to do all of this and really just have your shit figured out. And I didn't. And I felt embarrassed, and I felt pathetic, and I felt stupid, and I felt so incompetent that I didn't. That was a really rough time for me. I also went through another breakup during all this. And let's just say I was going through it, and I did not cope in a healthy way.
It's 4:25 in the morning.
Wait, no, wait.
That's where she'll die.
Wait, Steph, get ready.
Then I realized something, that my peers who are landing these jobs have known what they've wanted to do pretty much since they've entered college. Since I made a choice for myself to switch 1 year before graduating, I can't possibly expect myself to be at their level or to speedrun this process when learning takes time, and applying to jobs takes time, and studying for these interviews takes a lot of time. Sure, some people might just be naturally good at leak code or programming, but unfortunately, that was not me. So I gave myself some grace and decided that I'm going to do what others have been doing for their entire college careers. I'm going to lock in, get the reps, and grind. And by some stroke of luck, I landed an internship for the summer after I graduated. I also signed up for hackathons, tech conferences, and free technical interview courses, and that took me all the way into the next year. So what did I learn from all this? You can't rush a hard process. It's meant to take time, and that's what makes it meaningful.
This is fucking terrible. I feel so incompetent and so fucking tired. It's been literal months. I'm still an unemployed new grad. And everyone else is starting their lives already, and I'm just still here. I hate it. Soon though. Soon.
So I'm unemployed, living with my mom, and going through my second breakup. Let's just say I was not okay. I coped with two extremes: going out and partying all night, and doing nothing but studying for interviews. But after getting rejection after rejection for months, I finally heard back from the first company.
I got my first interview. Fucking go. I got my first interview, guys. I went through a recruiter. I went through a recruiter, and let's go. Let's fucking go. First one in literally months. Actually, first one ever since I started applying.
And I'm extremely grateful for this, because I know that in this economy, even getting an interview is really difficult and you have to be extremely lucky. I think that when I was applying, it was kind of the beginning of the end, because that's when the job market started going to shit, especially for tech.
I have an email to the recruiter drafted, but I think I should give it maybe another 7 minutes. It's 1:23. I'll give it 30 minutes, and then getting out of here.
I somehow ended up going through 5 interviews and actually landing 4 offers, which is absolutely crazy to me.
Guys, it's November 14th, and
I ended up choosing a role with a startup, and as lucky as I am to have had a job, I really did not like this job. Luckily, I still had another offer, so I quit, packed my life into a suitcase, and moved halfway across the country to New York City.
alright guys, we finally made it to New York City. $200 for this monitor. It's less than a year old. The original's like 600. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording because I can't hear this. Ew, that's disgusting. Guys, I have holy shit.
Now, New York was not the city of my dreams, but it became the city of my dreams. I was actually incredibly homesick when I first moved. My family, my best friends, and my boyfriend were all in Chicago, and I barely knew anyone here. Honestly, I wish I could have stayed in Chicago, but I wanted to do what was best for my career at the time, so I moved. This was the first major move of my life, and it was rough. I had a couple friends here, but we're more the catch up every once in a while friends, and not quite the you're my go-to person for emotional support and day-to-day activities sort of friend. I was also navigating the post-grad blues and adjusting to corporate life and the monotony of it, and also just being a functional adult. A lot was happening at once, and after finally getting settled, I decided to rely on what has always been my primary way of making friends since middle school, and that was volleyball. I grew up playing competitive volleyball, and from high school and club days, I have relied heavily on making my friends through the sport. Even when I played club in college, those were my closest friends. My best friends through most eras of my life were the ones who I've played volleyball with. So I decided to meet people in the city by playing, and that's exactly what happened. I met a bunch of super cool people who I was actually beginning to call my friends until... yeah, I broke my ankle. Okay, wait, so I didn't actually break it, but I had a grade 3 sprain.
I was trying to not be dramatic in front of all my friends, but I sprained my fucking ankle playing volleyball, and we literally have 9-man nationals in like 4 days, and now I can't fucking play because I'm an idiot and I sprained my fucking ankle. Also, if you guys don't know what 9-man is, it's like Chinese volleyball where you have 9 people on the court, but for women it's just 6s, so it's just like there's a lot of history with 9-man. I can make an entire video about it, but just that's kind of what it is. I play Chinese volleyball with my friends, and we have nationals on Friday, and I sprained my ankle. I've never sprained my ankle before, and I was just playing for fun, literally with my friends. I was like, I'm gonna try to get as much volleyball in this week as possible. So I was playing with my friends, and my friend sent me the ball, and like the ground was a little uneven, so I went up to hit, and then I landed on one foot on the curve of a ditch, and just I heard a little pop, and I was like, it's over. I was trying to not like make a scene, but everyone was circling around me. I was like, oh my fucking god. And just look at the size of this thing. I don't even think the camera's doing it justice, but my foot is fucking massive. I was already having kind of a really shitty week. Yeah, but now I can't play volleyball with my best friends. I'm mad at myself.
And unfortunately, I lived up 4 flights of stairs in the most walkable city in the United States, and my buzzer was broken. Yeah, so when my people would come visit me to drop off groceries or to check in, I'd have to hop down 4 flights of stairs, let whoever's visiting in, and then hop back up 4 flights of stairs.
New York on crutches might be like one of the worst things ever.
Also just didn't have too many friends at the time, and I couldn't go into the office to hang out with my coworkers, and I couldn't play the sport that I loved so much, which also happened to be my way of meeting people, so I just felt very, very isolated. But I began going to physical therapy, and ankle sprains tend to heal pretty well, even though now, like over a year later, I'm still going to physical therapy. But eventually, I could walk again. But at that point, my mental health was very much in the gutter, which brought me to a very lonely 24th birthday. So, the lesson learned at 23? A lot can change in a short amount of time. So, ride the wave of craziness, and appreciate who and what you have while they're still there. I started off 24 feeling very lonely and confused. I didn't have many friends in what seems to be the most social city in the world. Besides the whole ankle thing, I think I was just scared to let people in, and I wasn't ready to let go and accept the fact that my friendships with those back home have kinda changed. And I knew I needed to create a new support system here and make new friends. But after having gone through a few weeks of isolation due to my injury, I realized that I actually wanted to focus on myself for a bit. I wanted to focus on my career, reclaim my physical health, and grow as a creator on YouTube. And all of those things take a lot of time, so I temporarily put my search for friends on hold. It helped that I usually make my friends through volleyball, and since my foot was double the size it was supposed to be and green, I couldn't play. It sucked because the sport has become a part of my identity over the years, but I decided to take a step back and really take this time to focus on other things. I posted on YouTube consistently for a few weeks. I started learning front-end web development. I discovered a spark for learning again, and I worked hard. This is so extremely corny, but it felt like I was starting to fall in love with life again. And when I finally felt like I was ready again to put myself out there, I agreed to go on a trip for a volleyball tournament in Nashville with my acquaintances, maybe almost friends. Yeah, I was so nervous since I didn't really know any of them super well, but that was so much fun. Like, by far the most fun I've had on a trip with friends ever. And that was also the beginning of my social summer, where I finally put myself out there again and made friends and met people. But I really don't think I could have done this without regaining some control of my mental health and my life. And boy, was it a work in progress, because this has brought me all the way to now, 25, where I'm struggling with figuring out what I want to do with my life, with my day-to-day habits, with a lot of things. I honestly feel like I'm all over the place and confused and lost, which is probably also exactly what a quarter-life crisis is. Like, one day I want to excel at my current job, climb the corporate ladder, but the next day I want to just go and chase my dream of opening a coffee shop. And then the day after, I want to go travel the world. It's like the world really is your oyster. But sometimes I think we get stuck in this routine, doing the same thing every single day. I'm just not quite sure that that's what I want. But the confusing thing is, I don't know what I want. I don't know anything. And I don't know where the rest of my 20s will take me. This is so bad, but I actually think about a lot. Like, holy shit, what if I die before I make it to the end of my 20s? That was kind of dark, sorry. Just my intrusive thoughts. Now, I really don't know where the rest of my 20s will take me, but I really hope that future Steph decides to take some risks and do some amazing things for herself and her community. So with that, I'll leave you with my final lesson as I go into 25. It takes time and patience to build a life you love. So it's okay to experiment, to struggle, and to let yourself keep moving forward. Okay, I really hope that wasn't too corny. Love you all. See you soon. I hope you have a lovely day.